That's on me again. I'm going to write that down. Little notes to get better. Never correct Dan.
Lindsay at Close Call Sports. Here's an Ask the Uful, 1 out and a runner on first.
And the 1-1. Line to third, back to first, and it gets away from Donovan.
If he keeps on running, he's going to get second base on interference by the first baseman, Donovan, and now the umpires are going to get together. Dan Bellino was all over it. If Caratini just keeps going and continues the play, he's going to get second base no matter what.
Thinking about Alan Craig and Will Middlebrooks in the World Series of 2013. Remember that when he got to score on that play.
We did an analysis of that one. I'd love to revisit it because it's a really, really similar play.
Not sure Caratini will take second base.
I don't know what more Donovan's going to be able to do there.
What a coincidence. This is the exact same argument that was used by Boston in the 2013 World Series on this call, what the Jim Joyce made at third base. Middlebrooks slides on the ground, trips up the runner. It doesn't have to be intentional. We talked about this. Well, we didn't do a video back then, but we wrote about it. It does not have to be intentional. The mere fact is that as soon as the fielder fails to field the ball or catch a throw and it goes past them, they can no longer be in the way of the runner. The base path belongs to the runner at any other time other than a batted ball. We've talked about right of way many times. This is an example of it. The exception is that when a fielder is fielding and does field a ball or a throw, they're allowed to obviously block the runner's path. Here, the ball goes past the fielder, so he is no longer allowed to block the runner's progression, and because he impedes the runner, that is obstruction. That is obstruction specifically type 2 or type B, because a play is not actively being made on the runner. We have to dissect it. Because the ball is already thrown past the fielder missed, so there is no longer an active play on the runner. That means that we go to the nullify the act penalty, and the nullification of obstruction in this situation says that had obstruction not occurred, the runner would have achieved the next base on that overthrow, and that is why the runner is awarded the next base.
You get interference if you're the base runner, you get obstruction when you're the defender.
I think it's the right call. I mean, your instincts say I got to go, and then once a guy tackles you and you can't go any further, it's like, well, now I got to get back. I can't make it now. So in the heat of the moment, absolutely give him the next base.
Ollie Marmol talking with the crew chief Andy Fletcher and Dan Bellino.
Dissecting that rule, he said you can only leave him, you can only let him go there if he continues to run.
Again, that's a common misconception. The rule itself is to nullify the act, which means what would have happened had obstruction never occurred.
Well, then you're asking all the players to be completely versed and to be able to cite the rule book on a whim in a moment after a line drive to third and you're tackled at first.
And Dan Bellino going through the letter of the law right now.
I'd hope so. He's a lawyer.
With Ollie Marmol. And Andy Fletcher's trying to say, hey, let's go. So finally, the Cardinals manager leaves the field. Again, let's take another look at it. Here's the line drive, and Arenado fires to first, and then Donovan gets in the way and almost trips Caratini. Kind of looked like he stuck that leg out almost intentionally, but anyway, regardless of that, see that right leg, there's a little kick right there. Caratini goes down, gets second base.
To review, the fielder is obliged after missing the ball to get out of the runner's way. If they are unable to, even if it's unintentional, it is obstruction if the fielder impedes the runner's progress. This is obstruction type B. The umpires nullify the act by placing the runner at second base, ruling that the runner would have achieved that base on the overthrow if not for the defense's obstruction. Remember, the defense did something wrong, not the offense. Thanks for sending this one in. It's a great question. Visit us online at closecallsports.com, Twitter and Facebook at closecallsports, and we'll see you on the site.